That was the best state of play we've had in a long time for sure, but it might have been the best one ever. After that, let's talk about the new DualSense Sony announced because it looks awesome, and finally, let's wrap up with the new hardware they announced because it seems pretty cool, but it also seems very expensive. How's it going, everyone? As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. This is PSReady, my channel all about PlayStation, and I'm no longer in my basement. My mom let me leave. I am in Cortona, Italy, but they did a huge state of play, so I figured I'd record a video. I knew I brought my camera for a good reason because, man, I stayed up late. I'm not going to go in the order that they showed off the games, just going to talk about what looked cool to me. We'll start out with Wolverine. It's actually real. It's coming fall 2026. Everything about this looked incredible, right? This looks like they took all the A Squad people from Spider-Man 2018 and just put them on Wolverine, and it's all making sense now. You guys know, I like horror, I like gore, I like blood. The amount of blood in this game is more than anything I've seen from a first-party Sony game outside of something like, I don't know, Ghost of Tsushima in a very long time. Even God of War Ragnarok, it has the violence, it has the gore, but all the enemies are, they have orange blood, they do some trickery. This is human enemies getting Wolverine's claws through their head. It's going through their backs. It's visceral. It's violent. It's exactly what Wolverine needs to be. I played a lot of X-Men games growing up, like X-Men Legends 1 and 2. X-Men Legends 2 on PSP was one of my most played games, but the X-Men Origins Wolverine game is the closest I think we've gotten to a true Wolverine, and it had the healing factor, it had the blood, it had the gore, and we haven't really gotten anything like that since then. This is the closest, if not farther, than anything we got in X-Men Origins Wolverine, so I am fully on board for this. I'll move on from the blood in a sec, but they have blood tech. They invented a new term just for the blood in this game. That's this is the Insomniac that I grew up with that was doing Resistance. That was a super dark, super body horror inspired first-person shooter. That's the Insomniac that I missed during the Spider-Man and Ratchet and Clank era, so I'm glad that the Insomniac I grew up with is back for this. Blood tech. They called it blood tech. How awesome is that? They also flexed their Sony money a little bit with all the different biomes. There's Madripoor, which looked amazing with all the shacks and everything all lined up the hill. They of course had the Canadian wilderness, which is my favorite Wolverine setting, but they also said he's going to be going to Japan, and I'm not sure if they showed that, but the Wolverine movie directed by James Mangold, I want to say, it was supposed to be in Japan, but they didn't shoot it in Japan. It was kind of a miss, so I'm glad that they're rectifying that with this game, and fall 2026 gives them a huge window to hit. I hope this game isn't delayed just because it took so long, but if they need to delay it, that's fine. I just I don't want it to be delayed because I want to get my hands on it because it just looked that good. So as a PlayStation fan, this was the revival game for me. This is the game that got my fire going again, where it's oh yeah, this is the Sony that I knew from PS3, PS4, early PS5 generation. They took a break for the live service stuff. They're back with the single player. What could you say that's bad about how Wolverine looked? I don't even want to know. Don't even tell me what you didn't like about it, because to me, it hit all the boxes. It's exactly what I wanted from PlayStation. The second game I want to cover is Saros. It looks good. They dropped the subtitle. It used to be Saros: The New Dawn, I'm pretty sure, but now it's just Saros. I think that's cool. They showed gameplay from it, which is great, around 5 minutes. It's very clear that they're building on Returnal with it in terms of gameplay, level design, and everything else, and that's fine with me because A, not a lot of people played Returnal, and B, if you're going to use something as a building point, like a foundation to move forward, I think Returnal is a great candidate for that. They're taking all the things I didn't love about Returnal and improving on it while leaving the stuff I did like intact. So I think this is going to be a good follow-up to Returnal. It's coming out March 20th. The gameplay looked really cool. It's very casual compared to Returnal, I would say. They added a shield, which you did not have in Returnal for most of the game, and you can use it to absorb damage and then send it back as a big power move. Also, they're very clear that when you die, you get permanent progression. So if you make it pretty far, lose, you can then spend points to improve your character. The whole mantra of the game is come back stronger. So, I mean, hardcore Housemarque fans that are really into brutally difficult roguelites might be a little upset by that, but if they want more people to adopt this game, I think they need to go for a little bit more of a casual-er audience. It's not a casual audience. It's just a more casual audience than what they were going for before. And it's coming out March 20th, so it's right around the corner. It's a full, true PS5 game, just like Returnal. This is exactly what we've been looking for. I've always been a Housemarque fan. I've played most, if not all of their games to 100% completion. It's one of my favorite developers out there. I was super excited when Sony bought them, so I just hope this game kind of puts them on the map a little bit better than Returnal did, because critics and certain YouTubers really loved Returnal, but this should be the game that gets mass market appeal for them, and they really need it, right? Sony can't afford for another another bomb from this studio. So I hope this game hits because I don't want to see them go away because they're just one of the best in the entire industry, man. And I hope people just really latch onto this game like they should. I know you guys are shocked it didn't start out with this, but like, you know, I got to talk about what's good for PlayStation fans first. Halloween, the game showing up at a State of Play event blew my mind. I was like, no way they're doing this. I heard, you know, the Halloween theme playing in the background. I was like, that could be a generic Halloween track. And then it was the Halloween game. They showed off the most gameplay they've ever shown off. It's basically like Friday the 13th, the game where one person plays as Michael Myers or Jason, and then the rest of the people play as Haddonfield townspeople. Having Halloween be the theme will bring me back in. It also looks like you have more goals to accomplish as the survivors, so I think that's important as well. The one weird thing about this is like they nail the look, they nail the art, they nail the music, they nail the sound effects, they nail everything about the movie, but then it has a stylized aesthetic that I'm not totally on board with yet. Like Michael Myers' head's a little big, the survivors also have like the big head thing going on, and it is a little odd to see that because they're using Unreal Engine 5, and for all the complaining me and a lot of people who like performance do about Unreal Engine 5, the one thing that engine is like masterful at is representing humans. Like, you know, you can make a very realistic human in Unreal Engine 5, and then they use the engine and then they go, oh, let's stylize everyone. So other than that, I'm really on board for this. I hope the netcode holds up. I hope it's just fun to play because I have played so many of these games. Every ASIM horror game out there to death, so it needs to bring something new to the table, and I think the fact that it's in the world of Halloween is enough for me, but for other people, they need to put a twist on it because I've just seen the sentiment that people are sick of it. It's coming out September 8th, 2026, so I feel like we're going to go into a cooling off period. You know, you announce it around Halloween, you show off a little gameplay, then they go heads down for a year, but I am very impressed with where the game is at being a year out, so I think this is going to be the big moment for IllFonic with their licensed horror games, and I really hope it is. We'll just have to wait until September of next year, but I'm glad it's coming out in time for Halloween. Last Epoch is coming to PlayStation. That should be a big deal if you like Diablo 4, Diablo 3, Path of Exile 2, or any of those ARPGs. It's coming next year, so I think that's a big announcement. It's made by an indie studio. It absolutely blew up on Steam last year, and then it had like a little bit of a dive when, you know, they took too long to make the second season, but they announced that the game with its new expansion are coming to PlayStation. I think that's going to be huge. Everyone's freaking out about Microsoft Flight Simulator because it's an Xbox game, but like even if Xbox wasn't, you know, kind of changing their entire business model, that's a game I could see coming to everything regardless because it's Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's not Halo. It's not Gears of War, for example. It's not like blowing the barn doors open or anything. It's just like a game that you would expect to see on every platform. They did announce they are working on a PSVR 2 port of it, which could be interesting and also very scary. And then the last thing that really stood out to me was Gran Turismo 7 announcing that game series has sold 100 million copies, which obviously huge congrats to Sony on that. That's a lot of money. They're also doing a Spec 3 update for the game later this year in December. That's going to bring along 2 new tracks, 8 new cars, kind of add some stuff to the game. I think that's cool. I love Gran Turismo 7, as you guys know. It's like the biggest game that no one talks about. It's one of Sony's best-selling games, and no one really talks about it. So I will be the one PlayStation YouTuber who's obsessed with Gran Turismo. I love Gran Turismo 7. I think it's a good game. I think it has the potential to be great if they add an offline mode, but you know, it's good enough. I think it's like exactly what it needs to be, and I'm excited to see that it's still getting new content because that means I'm not the only person still playing it, which is the only important thing that matters to me. There were a ton of games shown off. I just wanted to talk about what stood out to me because, you know, my friend Jake Baldino's doing a video. I'm positive my friend Dustin over at Dustin Can Fly will do a video, and every other YouTuber is doing a video, so I figured I'd just give the first segment to the stuff I really know about and care about so you can get my personal opinion because it's my channel and it's a whole vanity thing, so thank you for watching. The next thing to cover is the God of War DualSense. It's the 20th anniversary of God of War. It's one of, if not Sony's biggest franchise. I'm glad they're not forgetting it. I just wish we could get a remaster of the trilogy. I wish we could get a remaster of the trilogy with the PSP games. I wish we could get an announcement of where Kratos is going next. I wish this 2.5D Metroidvania that's been rumored for almost a year would be announced. The fact that they didn't announce it at this State of Play kind of leads me to believe they'll do a shadow drop during the Game Awards, which is what I suggested for this State of Play. I think just because it's a 2.5D game where you're allegedly not playing as Kratos, the sooner you can release it after announcing it, the better it's going to do, and I would fully expect that game to be on every platform and not just PlayStation. They did announce a DualSense controller. It's $84.99. It's all white. It has Kratos' red face tattoo. I am definitely going to buy it. It's dropping for pre-order on October 23rd, and then it'll be at your house by October 3rd. I think it's a great looking DualSense controller. I think the trailer they used for it is also awesome. I just just want more from God of War. If you ask me what my favorite Sony franchises are, of course, I'm going to say Uncharted first, Gran Turismo second. God of War is right there. I loved God of War 2018. I loved God of War Ragnarok. I think I liked it more than most people. I just want more from God of War whenever they can deliver it. So hopefully we don't have long to wait for that rumored 2.5D Metroidvania, because if there's one thing that I think could make me like God of War more, it's a handheld style 2.5D Metroidvania set in the world of God of War. I don't think Sony is well known for doing shadow drops, but that would be a perfect opportunity to do a shadow drop for a new God of War game. At least I think, you know? Am I crazy? Let me know down in the comments. And finally, let's round out the video with the new hardware, because, you know, every state of play has to have some sort of new accessory or piece of hardware. Like last time we got the Flex Strike, and this time we got the Pulse Elevate desktop speakers. I think these look really cool. They come in black or white. They use the PlayStation Link technology. They're fully wireless and battery operated. They come with a charging dock, so you can leave those plugged in at your desk. And then if you want to move them to your bedroom, you want to move them next to your TV, you just move the Link adapter to your PC, your TV, your second PlayStation 5, whatever you want to use, and everything will just sync right up. And it still works with that Link adapter if you're using your PS Portal as well. So from that perspective, I think they are very cool. The thing that makes me nervous is, like, you're getting two speakers that are fully wireless, have a charging dock, use PlayStation Link in a box. I just think these things are going to be very expensive. I don't know where this rumor came from, but I saw people asking if $319 was for one speaker or both. $300 speakers is just like out of the realm of possibility for a lot of people for using on a PlayStation 5. There are plenty of speakers out there that are cheaper and I would guess sound just as good, if not better. And like, if you're paying that much for a pair of speakers, you're not going to want to use them as like a Bluetooth speaker outside of your house. So like, they have limited use and they are probably going to be very expensive. I think it's cool that they're offering midnight black or white to go with whatever plates you have on your PlayStation 5, whichever sort of theme you're using for your accessories. I think they're kind of running out of ideas for this Pulse line, but I think the biggest reason they invented these in the first place, though, is because they want to make sure that you're on your PlayStation 5 no matter where you play games, right? Like, if people are using their desk to play PC games, you can now use a 1440p monitor with your PlayStation 5, which most TVs are not 1440p, which means you're probably using a desktop monitor, which means you're at your desk. Oh, now we've got these great speakers that can go right next to your monitor and give you great PlayStation audio. Oh, you're someone like me who switches between PC and PlayStation 5. Well, we've got this USB adapter that just moves between your PS5 and your PC. It'll sync right up automatically, so you can use these speakers, our PlayStation technology, wherever you are. I think that's really smart. It's, of course, driving that engagement metric that they're so obsessed with, but we've seen that, you know, you have to compete with people for their time, whether they're on mobile, whether they're on PC, whether they're on Nintendo Switch 2, or of course PlayStation 5. You got to give them a reason to use their PS5 at all times, and just having a pair of desktop speakers on your desk with the PlayStation logo, that's a great way to keep PlayStation in people's minds. They just got to figure out how to price these things better. I'm someone who really likes Sony headphones. I use the 1000X Mark V line of earbuds and over-the-ear headphones. You got to take out a mortgage to get those things, and the whole idea of PlayStation being a console is that it's cheaper than alternatives like PC. But then when it comes to the accessories for PlayStation 5 outside of the Portal, which I think is extremely well priced, they're again making you take out a second mortgage to get any of this stuff. So hopefully they can figure out a good price point, because I am interested in these. But if that $320 price point I saw floating around does turn out to be true, I just think I gotta like pump the brakes a little bit, especially considering, you know, the PS6 is allegedly 2 years away, and then we'll get the second generation of all this stuff, or none of this stuff will work with the PS6. And then they'll be like, oh, you could just buy a whole new line of speakers. Like, if they can make the PS Link adapter travel forward in generations, then I'll go back and buy these. But I gotta be a little careful right now with buying new PlayStation hardware, because again, the PS6 is right around the corner. So yeah, this generation is finally shaping up the way it should, though, with all these great new games. I mean, I covered a few from the state of play, but if you want to talk about like high quality games, I think they really brought it with this state of play. I know every time I like a state of play, I go on Twitter, I go on YouTube, and I see everyone like complaining wildly about how bad the state of play was. But I looked at Jeff Keighley's little grade sheet he does, where it's a Twitter poll where you rate it A, B, C, D. Seems like most people were either A or B, so this time I'm in lockstep with everyone else. Let me know what you're excited for from the state of play down in the comments below, and enjoy this view. Isn't it great? It's nice. I'm gonna end the video with a huge shout out to my father-in-law, Mark. He said, hey, I'm going to Italy. I got a villa, and if you want to buy your plane ticket, everything else is on me. So that's why you get this view for this video, this PlayStation news video. How many PlayStation news YouTubers can you say you watch that shot a news video on a cliff in Italy? I would guess 0. Well, now you have 1. It's me. Anyway, guys, as always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and shape on.